I'm Jason Brown. I'm sitting here with Don Bowie. He is a filmmaker, and this Thursday, Annapurna, is that right?
Annapurna.
Annapurna. That was so close. And this is a film that I'll let him tell you about. There's a trailer out there that you can watch as well. But it's for Inyo County Search and Rescue. It's a fundraiser. And you were just saying, Don, that you were on Search and Rescue?
I was from 2003 to 2012.
Wow. Okay. For
Yeah.
where?
Here.
Here.
Yeah, Inyo County.
Oh, I did not know that. Is this your home residence?
It has been. I haven't been living in Bishop for the last 5 years or so, but yeah, I was here full time for 12 or 15 years or so.
Now, tell us about Annapurna first, before we get too deep into this. What inspired you to make this movie?
So Annapurna is one of the 8,000 meter peaks in the world. 8,000 meters is about 26,500 feet. That distinction is kind of like a 14er.
Okay.
In the high mountains in the world, Everest being the tallest, then K2, and Annapurna is the 10th highest. But it has the distinction of being probably statistically the most dangerous. It has a 1 in 3 death to summit rate, about 1 in 4 death to summit rate now.
What causes it? Just obviously different terrain than Everest would be?
Yeah, different terrain, steeper slopes. It's certainly not as tall as Everest, but it has a lot of avalanche activity on it. And so there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk that you can't mitigate. It's either you're playing Russian roulette a lot on that mountain. You're just rolling the dice a bit.
So when you made this movie, did you climb this mountain?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Come on. I mean, most people don't realize, like, when the surfer's surfing and there's somebody right next to them, or the skier going down, they're doing pretty much the same terrain making the movie. So here you are on Annapurna, making this movie. What was that like?
Well, it took 13 years and 6 expeditions to do it. I tried the mountain 5 times on 4 different routes before I was able to finally climb it in 2019. So it was a really long time coming by the time I made the summit on it. So, and the film was then about 3.5 years of making after that. So it's been about a 15-year process to from the start of those expeditions to actually what we're going to show on Thursday.
So I'm just curious, like, so as the filmmaker side of it, filming these people coming up without oxygen, when you're making the film part, though, with all that gear, you're on oxygen, right?
No, not on oxygen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't climb. I don't climb with oxygen, and there's a segment in the film actually that discusses why I don't climb with oxygen, and there's actually a study about the difference between physiologically climbing with and without. It's the first time a study of this nature has ever been done. It's an entire segment in the film, and I was part of that study. So it's really interesting. These findings are the first to come out in this film. So it'll be interesting how people will receive that.
And when they come out, they can ask questions after the film.
Yeah, I'll stick around.
Question and answer session.
I'll
right?
stick around for a little bit and answer some questions. And we've had a few of these screenings in New York and Toronto and different places, in Denver, in Laguna Beach, and around the country. And so we've had some big screenings, some big theaters, and people have stuck around to ask some questions afterwards. So if people are interested, I'll stick around and answer some questions on Thursday.
My question here now: what was the scariest moment while making this? There has to be a scariest moment.
Releasing it.
On the mountain while making the movie, not anything in post. Scary moment.
Scariest moment. Well, you'll see
in the film.
In the film,
you got to come out and watch.
You'll see in the film. It's on film.
It really is.
Yeah, it's captured on film for everybody to see. And there's more than one scary moments, and there's some real tangible fear in my eyes, and there's some tragedy too on that mountain.
Wow. Anything that you can say to the people watching why they need to be out there, not just because they're supporting Inyo Search and Rescue? Final parting words?
Well, I think that's the most important thing. I really do.
Search and rescue.
Search and rescue. I enjoyed my time with Search and Rescue, and it had such a big impact on me. And since that time, since I've left, I've been on rescues and searches all over the world, in the Himalayas and in Europe and in a few other places. And I really cut my teeth with Inyo Search and Rescue.
Really?
So, yeah, this is really a homecoming for me. I'm really proud to be here.
And so that's why you decided to bring it back here, was for them?
Yeah, exactly.
That is so awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming in. I know this wasn't a long interview, but we're just kind of giving people a tease out there of why they need to come in, and just the things that you've already shared. I would not be surprised if you have a huge question and answer session afterwards. So
I hope
plan on
so.
sticking around a little bit of time. But thank you for
Hope
coming
so.
out.
Thanks for
Really
having me.
appreciate it. Thanks for watching. It's going to be Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Bishop Twin Theater. That is August 8th, if I'm correct. And the doors open at 6:30. And how much are tickets? Do you know?
I think 15 at the door, 10 ahead of time.
10 online?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you heard it. Thank you. And we hope you come out and support Inyo Search and Rescue for Annapurna.
I didn't know what to do. And the only thing that I could think of was I gotta get off this mountain.
There are 14 mountains in the world above 8,000 meters. Of the 14, Everest is the tallest, K2 is the hardest, but Annapurna is widely considered the most dangerous. For every 4 people that reach the summit of Annapurna, 1 dies trying.
When you actually see the mountain for the first time, it's a very sobering moment.
To be absolutely safe. It's impossible. On Annapurna, you cannot be on the safe place.
This is very danger mountain and like killer mountain.
As of 2021, less than 300 people have reached Annapurna's summit, and 70 have died trying.
My friend, stay strong, okay? We go home.
It begs the question, who in their right mind would try to climb such a mountain?
It's a mystery how somebody can climb to the top of an 8,000 meter peak without supplemental oxygen. We know it can be done.
With the use of supplemental oxygen, climbers can dial in the altitude they want to be at. But climbing without oxygen, you're right at the very limits of human survival. It's a race to get to the summit and get down before you die.
I use the oxygen very easy, but without oxygen, very, very hard.
Let's get acclimatized and ready.
These guys were my heroes. Monsters of Himalayan climbing.
It took me 13 years and 6 expeditions to spend 7 minutes on the summit of Annapurna. And what I felt up there just doesn't last. Uli came over the radio and he said, he stopped breathing.
We did everything, and finally we are losers.
I've never really reached a full conclusion of what part of Inaki's death belongs to me. Most of our time is spent struggling somewhere between the bottom and the top. And that's where the joy must be found, in our discomfort, wrestling not just with the mountain, but with ourselves, through fear and loss and our failures.
Oh my God!
In the place of our dreams and our nightmares.